It'd sure be nice if I had a remote control that so I can move that.
Well, we don't have you never done an efficiency. Yeah, we went to the Mexican restaurant.
You know, everybody can kind of lean over here a little bit. Everybody's kind of sitting on this end. Yeah, okay, good. That, Andrew, that was good, yeah. I like that. Okay.
So,
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're kind of sparse tonight. I think the word got out that Bill Adelman was gonna do something tonight, so. Okay, welcome to the November safety meeting for the March Aero Club. And my name's Roger Mann, for those who don't know who I am. I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know who I am.
that's good.
We're going to do, basically tonight we're going to do kind of 3 different parts. I'm going to do a little thing on a scenario tonight that's going to kind of help you think a little bit. And then John's going to have a special treat on the airplanes he used to fly. He's trying to sell it, you know, trying to get people to like the, you know, the C-130. It's on the C-130J model, right? Yeah. And then the wing safety officer, Lieutenant Colonel Adelman, is going to do a presentation on 182 misrigged, yeah. So without talking more, we're going to get through this started. It's a little more awkward being how we got this set up, but when we run laptops, the laptops don't run real well through that projector over there. It only runs good over there, so that's why we're doing this. Okay, the first thing we do is anybody that's a new person that's in the club. I don't see anybody that was new that's joined the club recently. Yeah, it doesn't, I don't know, we did get everybody before, right? I don't want you lying, you know, if you haven't, you know, then tell me the truth. Okay, anybody that's gotten any new pilot ratings or soloed for the first time or done anything, flew their first airplane that they just bought? Well, I guess the Coopers is a little too late now. You've had your airplane how long now?
A year?
A year now. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody, let's see, well, Youngblood, he flew for the first time in months, so that could be, yeah, it could be new. Yeah. Okay, anybody have any stories they want to tell that might be kind of, that you could share with the club? You know, some exciting thing? I know George oftentimes has something, but we haven't seen George in a while, so.
Come on, George, tell us something. I'm not telling.
You're not telling? You know, you're not going to blame anybody for anything? Gavin, anything? Any?
Nothing that's story worthy. I had I went flying Randy on Saturday, and I flew, it was in 555. And I don't think that one, it's the first time I've flown that one. It's the first time that one's been running since I got qualified in 34.
Yeah.
And I got the thing started. And I could not figure out how to get the comm nav on. It's got that unmarked toggle switch down there amongst all those other switches with the lights.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with the engine running, and Randy was just great. He was being very patient in the back seat, and I'm kind of looking back there, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, so I just started flipping switches. I knew it had to be down there somewhere, but it wasn't marked. And anyway, I finally got lucky. It was just funny. It's not a really good flying story, but it was kind of humorous.
Yeah, kind of.
Expensive 5 minutes.
Expensive 5 minutes, yes, that's the problem,
But he
see.
complied by warming it up for 5 minutes, so it's a push. There you go.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just wasting money, so. Okay, we'll talk to the Aero Club manager, and then I'm gonna talk about what would you do, and then we'll have a special treat by our chief pilot, and I didn't have time to add Colonel Adelman's little thing on there, so But I did add it later on my slides though. Okay, Bob, why don't you go ahead and talk, and why don't you talk, a little bit about
Christmas.
Christmas, and also Steve,
An update, Steve can probably correct me, but I was with David G. this morning for 40 minutes on the telephone, and he's still in the hospital after 2 weeks. I understand that he was released this afternoon, is that right, Steve?
It should be as we speak.
Yeah. So anyway, he's in good spirits. He still has issues. It was a problem with his pancreas, and evidently they had to remove part of that. They're trying to correct the pancreatic fluids that are not draining into the colon. They're draining into the cavity of the stomach. So it's a pretty serious issue here, but he's been hanging in there. Maintenance real quick, like we're still working on 5.7. We set the prop out. Brett did that, and Mike Martin, they hauled it down to get it repitched. It was set at 12.5 degrees. It should be 13.5 for that engine. The next thing we're working on now is the prop governor, and we think that may be causing some of the issues with the variations of the RPM. We're waiting to bring out the 182 out of the annual inspection. I believe we're going to try and work with Jim G. and Frank and get that thing finished up, and then we'll get it signed off for the annual. The next one is going to be 234 Whiskey Papa. That's going to have to be a rush job. They need the airplanes for the 12th of December for, we need at least 2 aircraft unless we get, we'll have 3 unless we get 5.7 running. So it's been a long haul with 5.7. I'm sure the colonels aren't real happy, but we're doing the best we can. So David's been off for 2 weeks, and we're trying to pull the cylinders on 5.6 to get those in. And other than that, we're trying to survive. So not getting a lot of flying in. We have some winds in the morning to pick up, although sometimes there's a lull about noon. So if you're going to schedule, you want to check the weather. Some of the winds don't kind of fall out in regards to what we have in the morning and what we have in the afternoon. And we got some decent weather here late. Next thing I want to talk about is our Christmas dinner. So the options we have presently, we've had good success at the Pinnacle Peak Steakhouse. And if that remains on everybody's menu, we'll try and do Pinnacle Peak Steakhouse. Now the question is, what day do we want to hold it on? So for some of us, the 5th of December is taken. Or is it the 12th?
No, well, we got,
The 5th.
yeah, the 5th is, I know for me, it's completely,
No, we got the
pictures.
12th. The 12th is at 3 p.m. So that one's no good. So we have the 5th available and the 19th, or we do it during a Sunday night or during the week. Sometimes that's pretty difficult for a lot of people who come out of the west to drive all the way out here in the afternoon to try and make a dinner around 6 o'clock. They'd have to come up with all the traffic on the 91 or the 60. So I'm kind of open to see where we're going to go this year. If you guys want to party for Christmas again, we'll probably look at the steakhouse, unless somebody else has any other recommendations. We've tried the Spaghetti Factory, but the last time we did that with about 40 people, there were 2 other parties in that large room, and it was really kind of chaotic. They have different things taking place with the Aero Club, plus a wedding party, plus another birthday party, and it was kind of a mess. So I'm open for suggestions. Got to come up with some kind of resolution so I can come up with an email to everybody. Does everybody want a Christmas party this year? Okay, it appears that most people like to do that. Now the key is, do we want it on a Saturday? If that Saturday is not available, we'll be taking substitute for a Sunday evening.
we've done it on Sunday
Yeah,
afternoons.
we have done it. You normally get started around 5, dinner around 6, and we're out there by 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
I know several
that's-
times with Frank.
that works pretty well for a lot of people. Sunday doesn't have a lot of traffic either. By the time you leave, I know that Tyler has to come out of Huntington Beach and Orange County, and that's kind of a hassle for a lot of people, Mission Viejo. Most of us are here locally, somewhere locally. there's a few out of San Diego that like to come up. So early in the afternoon, works pretty decently, so we meet around 5 o'clock. Is 5 o'clock a good meeting time with dinner at 6? If we want to do that, do we want to go back to the Pinnacle Peak Steakhouse? They seem to can handle this. It's order what you want off the menu. They have a special menu for us. And you can order what you want. You pay for it. As you said, they do a decent job in service, and we've had a lot of fun there. So we'll plan on the Pinnacle Peak. I see a few nods here. We'll look at Pinnacle Peak. So now we're looking at a day. So we've got the 5th, which is Saturday, December, the 6th, Sunday, December, and the 13th of December, and then we're down to the weekend before Christmas when everybody's kind of doing their last minute Christmas shopping, which would be the 19th and the 20th. It's my opinion that earlier in the month we're better off. Is that agreeable somewhere? So I'm looking at the 5th, a Saturday, or the 6th on Sunday. Any ideas here?
I'd go for Saturday, but Sunday's okay.
Yeah, okay, I got one for Saturday. Anybody else? Saturday,
Saturday.
5th? Anybody else? We plan on the 5th, see what happens. I'll make a phone call tomorrow for reservations. You're welcome to. So we'll do it on the 5th of December. It's cocktails at 5, dinner at 6 at Pinnacle Peak, and we'll send out an email on how to get there. It's off the 91 at Barton Road?
No, it's Lacadena.
Lacadena,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's gonna be on Lacadena Avenue. So it's, you have to go past the place to make a U-turn, come back, and then getting back on, you end up crossing over the freeway, and getting on the freeway again, depending on which way you're going. So, I mean, it's not that hard once you look at the map and figure out how you're gonna get there.
Well, it's right where the railroad trestles are, where the railroad tracks cross the 91. It's pretty easy to get to. They've changed everything there now. It's not like it used to be.
They've opened up a diamond lane down the 91 from the interchange, the 215, all the way to the I-10. So there's a diamond lane in there now, so you're gonna get 4 lanes of traffic through there. So it moves pretty good even with decent traffic. So that's what we're gonna plan on. December the 5th, Pinnacle Peak, cocktails at 5, dinner at 6. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Great. I just threw this in here. This is just a Sabbath thing. For you guys, if you missed a safety meeting, you can make it up by watching the YouTube video. But if you watch the YouTube video, you do have to take the written exam for that, just to show that you did watch it through YouTube. Or you can just come on into the office and watch the DVD that we have there. Or you can watch the YouTube on on the computer right there in the office too. So either way, we got it covered for that. And this gentleman over here is the guy that does all that for us. And they do a good job too. And it takes what, 5 hours to download on YouTube, something like that? Yeah, so they've been doing a good job with it. Okay, what would you do? Okay, what I'm doing here is that this is something that I try to do every once in a while. I like to do a little more of it because it kind of gets you into it, but I'm just picking one incident, and what it is that this is a real life scenario out of the callback briefing. How many here know what the callback is? Okay, what it is, it's a magazine, or it's a little paper that comes out from the NASA Aviation Reporting System, or the ASRS reports. It's of pilots that have done something wrong, or felt that they have done something wrong, and they feel that they could get in trouble over it, and so what they do is they turn in this NASA, what we call get out of jail form. How many have heard of that term? Yeah. Basically, if you think you've done something that you might get violated for, then turn in that form, and if you turn in that form, then you will not get violated. Unless it's an accident or something like that happens where there's a fatality or something, then of course, obviously, it goes in a different direction. But From what I've been told, that all airline pilots turn these things in almost every time they fly. So, it is something to kind of have with you, and know where to go online to get it, just in case you just happen to do something that you feel that you've done wrong. You may not have done anything wrong at all. But what's nice about this program is it does exactly kind of what we're gonna do tonight. It gives people heads up on what mistakes pilots have made and admit to it. And it's a real good program. I get the call back every single month, just before the safety meeting usually. And it's really interesting to read. It really is. It's fascinating. So without any more talking, let me move into the scenario. Okay. The first half of the story is usually when you find excerpts describing the event and up to the decision point. Okay, and what's going to auto standby mean?
Yes and no.
Is that thing going to shut off on us?
Just push the button on the remote.
Oh, okay. And what happens is that they do this, I think, about once every other month, I think it is, or something like that. They take, okay, I want to make sure I don't hit the wrong button that causes this thing to go do something that I don't want it to do. Anyhow, what happens is that it takes you up to the point where the pilot had to make some kind of decision. And then what we do, okay, is there something I can do? Because it's not stopping. It doesn't matter what button I'm hitting.
Well, that was over there, I guess.
Okay. It's still, it's got a signal again, so according to that. Yeah. I can't believe that the darn thing would shut off on you when you're in the middle of doing stuff. Yeah, it's still on video one. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, so this is a Cessna 172. I put up there T-41A. It could be the T-41C too. This is a VFR flight. Okay, the weather briefing advised my route was VFR and forecast to be so until around 0300 local time. 0300, that's in the morning, isn't it? Like in the middle of the day? Yeah.
It's pretty hard to be VFR at 0300.
Yeah, pay attention to the details in these things, is what I find is interesting. En route, the weather quickly deteriorated. I noticed larger the clouds forming around me,
Can't see that, it's very foggy.
and a thick cloud deck forming in front of me. I opted to drop my altitude to 3,500 feet to maintain VFR cloud clearance and duck below it. Now, that tells me it couldn't have been in the middle of the night. I do not know what he means by
The
all
forecast,
300.
the forecast was through 3 a.m.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
the forecast started at
The
sometime
forecast-
before 3 a.m.
okay. All right. Once the weather opened up, I decided to climb to 5,000 feet to get a better look at what was going on around me. I saw that the weather was worse than I thought. It was solid IMC everywhere and deteriorating rapidly. I started checking different en route weather services to get a picture of what was going on. At this point, I had 1.3 hours of fuel left and realized that any airport within my range was heavy IMC. I decided to continue towards my home airport. I maintained 1,000 feet above the cloud deck for some form of traffic separation, but could not see the ground as it was a solid layer. Has anybody here been in that situation yet? Shortly after, both nav1 and nav2 failed. Gee, go figure. But DME was still operational.
This guy's named Murphy.
Yeah, no kidding. I then attempted to call center for vectors and help. Help, but to no avail. It appeared my radio could receive but not transmit. I then attempted to navigate via my iPad. How many of you have an iPad? I know Bob does too. He won't admit it though. But the battery died shortly after.
Almost three. That's what I do.
Yeah, we need more batteries. At this point, the weather had gotten so poor that flying through the clouds became unavoidable. I was in a complete IMC. I executed an emergency 180 assuming degrees using my turn coordinator and my stopwatch and held that heading for a few minutes. Realizing it wasn't improving, I would quit and just jump out of the airplane. I decided to climb to get up above the deck once again for traffic separation. I climbed for approximately 20 minutes and popped out above the deck at 10,000 feet. This is a Cessna 172, okay?
How much fuel do you use?
I don't know. He doesn't say.
Now at 1.3 is down to about 0.8.
Yeah, he must be down there. It was solid overcast as far as the eye could see. At this point, I was very disoriented as to where I was, and I had no way to call for help. What would you do? This is supposed to be an open discussion.
Forecast says for me, I don't even go.
Huh?
Forecast says don't even go.
Well, okay. It was suggested that he probably shouldn't have gone at all in the first place. And that's a good one. What else? What would you do if you were in this situation?
Did you declare, oh, you can't talk to ATC, you said, right?
No, at least he,
Squawk 7700, right?
Yeah.
okay, you could do that, yeah, Squawk 7700.
Sectional charts will tell you what the terrain actually aspect is, and you can descend and get back down, because now you're running out of fuel. So once you run out of fuel, you're in a glide to the situation, you have no way to know how to protect it, so I'd take
Yeah.
the start down.
Would you, I know I would have had sectional charts with me. I would have had something, I would not have depended on that.
He was in the clear 3,500 feet and then climbed back above it supposedly to get reoriented.
Yeah, he was trying to figure out. No,
Does it say
Yeah.
what time local it is during all this?
no, it doesn't. It was in the States somewhere in here, but, so, you know, if it's hard to say where it was, you know.
Well, if he can't talk to anybody, and he has no idea which direction to go, the only thing he said his DME was still working. If that DME station is on a field,
Yeah,
he can start flying a heading where that DME keeps decreasing until it's, you know, at least he knows he's overhead of whatever that is for
Okay.
situational awareness.
okay.
That's the only way he's gonna.
Why
Okay.
doesn't he just reverse the course he's been flying?
He tried that, but he got disoriented.
Yeah, I think he
I
did
know,
try
but
to do
just
that.
Because you're disordered, you're above the cloud, reset your DG and fly the opposite way it came in on.
Okay,
That
yeah,
should get him clear
get him clear, yeah.
before he runs out of gas.
Run out, yeah, to see, that's the problem, is running out of gas. What's that?
No, NAV1 and NAV2 were inoperative, all
Yeah.
you had was DME.
All you had was DME. He did have DME.
Don't torture us, Roger, what did he do?
Well,
He obviously survived.
I'm trying to make you think.
Would he have done it?
Oh, you fly those T-34s out there in formation, you
I
just,
don't know what I would have done.
Well,
Okay.
The whole thing
Okay.
is, the section wouldn't do him any good because he's on
Yeah.
top of an overcast, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well-
And his comm isn't transmitting, so he
Yeah.
can't talk to anybody.
Yeah,
The only thing he's got is his directional gyro and so on like that, so the only answer is to get a heading that would get him out of the situation, because he don't know where he's at.
yeah. Well, we did have one answer in here that was good. I mean, they're all good. I'm not saying that anybody was bad. But let's take a look and see what he did do, okay? Okay, using his DME. So Gavin was right on the right track. I determined where I was relative to the tuned VOR DME by flying different headings and observing the DME's reaction. On my sectional chart, I drew a line straight from the VOR and determined I was roughly 6 miles south of the departure airport. I then turned direct north and held this heading for 10 more minutes to get far north of the field where I knew he had knowledge of his airport. I knew there was no obstacles while descending from 10,000 down to 2,000. Once my passenger's cell phone got the signal, I pulled up a computerized satellite map and used that to line myself up with the runway coming from the north. I maintained a slow but steady descent as I continued essentially a poor man's GPS approach. I broke through the clouds at roughly 1,200 feet AGL and landed. So that was good. And of course he had a sectional map. Fred,
He had 1.1 hours of fuel?
1.3.
1.3, and he
1.3.
flew 20 minutes to get on top.
yeah,
So that takes away about, 3.5 tenths of that.
Oh, yeah.
So now this guy's gonna be driving around with the VOR and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
it worked obviously, but is that good of a decision?
yeah.
You know what I'm getting at? I'm
Yeah.
saying, here,
That's a good point.
how
Yeah.
long did he drive around between two VOR DMEs to find out where he
To
was?
find out where he was at, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Well, I'm just
Robert.
wondering if he was only 6 or 8 miles from the original airport, how bad was the weather when he took off?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what the
Well,
hell?
that's, yeah, that was brought up earlier too, yes. I'm not so sure I wouldn't have even done it at all. Matter of fact, I know I wouldn't.
Well, he's
Anybody
just a very
else?
lucky fellow.
Yeah, I think
He
that
should have
the-
played the lotto that day.
Well, true. I think he did he got himself out of it, that's for sure. But there, a lot of guys here, I can see, a lot of you guys, first off, probably wouldn't have done it, but Gavin would have survived. I gotta let you know, the C-17, they fly like this all the time. I'm sure that,
Good thing you had that passenger there.
huh?
Good thing you had that passenger there.
It was a
Exactly,
good thing you had the damn phone.
exactly.
Apparently he doesn't have his own phone, so he's
gotta
take somebody with him.
Because he probably could have used the passenger earlier than this, I wonder if he asked the passenger if he had a signal earlier, before he even started doing, like Fred said, climbing out, he used a lot of fuel to do that. He could have maybe done all this all before this.
Well, he didn't plan it very well.
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No, he didn't. And that's why he was able to do this report, was that the fact that he got himself out of it somehow, very fortunately did. Anybody else wants to add anything to this? Okay, we're gonna try to do more of these, and I'd like to do another one that's gonna be, an investigation on a crash too, on an airplane crash. Bob and I went to a seminar on how to investigate crash, airplanes that crash. And I'm telling you, you learn a whole lot in those kind of things. And when we do that, I'm gonna be handing you out little pieces of paper and stuff like that to do your own investigation. It's fascinating. Any questions so far? Okay. Now, John is gonna do his little thing on the, what's that airplane called? Yeah, C-130J.
Hercules.
Hercules. And This is kind of our little light side of the meeting. It's,